Your vision and what you know is from what you've seen and heard. But when you have your own story, it's special in your own way. And it's 10 times better than the shit you're thinking about, you know?
From CNR JUTA De Beer, imina umsindisi wesiko, umvelisi emnqango umelisi wesizwe, formerly known as Lwazi Madonsela, bringing you a show about creative entrepreneurs live from the landmark that not only birth SA street culture, but also formalize the street hustle. On today's episode, we have Mpumelelo Frypan Mfula, umsindisi wesiko 365 Mzilikazi. Today I'm blessed by Mr. CNR JUTA himself, Mpumelelo Frypan Mfula, the mayor. My favorite line by this black king is, "Cause the mayor said so, motherfucker."
Let them know. Let them know.
The mayor said so, motherfucker. I know he's not the mayor of BRAAM, he's the mayor of culture. If you thought you were consulting in the boardroom, you had the wrong man.
That's it.
It's him.
That's it. That's it.
It's him.
Take this man's word.
Oh, yeah.
You speak nothing but the truth. Doing well, man. I'm doing well. I've had a busy day. I'm relaxed now. I got here, was served snacks, water. I'm like,
Nizwil.
these guys know what I'm about.
Sponsors, we need a fee for my mans to come here. It's the mayor.
Let's make it happen.
It's only right. I know you're blessing the youth with your knowledge, your experiences, but make it right.
That's it.
But most importantly, I need your street credentials.
Street cred. What you want to know about street cred?
Credentials. When a kid who just got into BRAAM, who the fuck is the mayor? I didn't elect him. Who's the mayor?
You know what's the thing about that too? And put it into context. I've got a show called The Mayor's Office, right?
Yeah.
But it's not mayor's as in with the apostrophe S to say I am the mayor and you coming to my office. Mayor is like the people I profile there and speak to are mayors in their own right because they stepped up to some challenge, to some responsibility that no one asked them to do, and they become mayors. So it's mayors is plural. I'm one of those mayors because I stepped up to the responsibility. I don't have to be elected. I don't have to.
When you didn't need to.
Yeah. Mayors
paid
are not
niggas
elected.
when you didn't need to.
That too.
Damn.
But paid when I didn't have to.
That's the charge it to the game. Ayo.
Charge it to the
Charge
game,
it to the
baby.
game. Bro. CNR JUTA and beer. It's you.
Beautiful, baby.
Like when I had to launch the show, I was like, yo, it's you. It's Fry. Like Fred said the most important thing. He's like, we're living in the era of Fry.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You need to listen to the part. CNR JUTA and beer.
That's amazing.
He said we're living in the era of Fry because everything is as a result of the work you paved. And when you realistically look at it, like stores that are independently run by black creatives like Swank, you pave the way for things like that to be possible and viable. Not saying they doing their stuff. They're doing great work. They're very visible in Joburg. You're seeing the people. You're seeing the numbers. You're seeing the activations. But the stylist, they were at your shop. The guys who exhibited, they were at your shop. Me, I was at your shop. I was trying to get my brand there. Then I realized, yo, them bashkas, I'm not in love with them.
Yeah.
But there is a certain aspect of telling stories through clothes.
For sure.
And you've told your stories in various mediums. You're a multidisciplinary creative. No, multidisciplinary entrepreneur.
For sure.
Because you're a businessman.
Yeah.
And you are the businessman.
For sure.
How have you done that?
Just to put it into context, man, I'm a very lucky dude. I'm a very fortunate dude.
Yeah.
You know? Because I'm as much of a player as you are, as anybody is. But I'm privileged to like occupy a very special position in this team that we all in.
What number name is?
You know? And sometimes by super sub, sometimes by assistant coach, sometimes by coach because I play different positions.
Yeah.
So when someone like that says we live in the era of Fry, I will not disagree. But me, I'm Mpumelelo, first and foremost.
Mfula.
That's who I am. Frypan or Frypan becomes this player in this community, in the streets and whatnot, you know? It's like, what do artists call him? What's like a pseudonym, a stage name, whatnot, you know? It's a superhero dude. And there's this mystique around this name, Frypan.
Sure.
Even when I meet people, it's like, oh, you're Frypan.
Frypan.
And it tells me, it's like, okay, there's this
But the mystique is warranted.
It
You're
is.
the same man with TED Talks.
It is, because let me tell you why, dog. It's just a very special position. I'm as I said, I'm as much of a player as anybody else. But this player just happens to be that someone that facilitates conversation across industry, across culture. That's my gift of life, right? That's just a gift and privilege I have. It's not me. It's not my smarts per se. I don't want to act humble about it. It's just a fact. I'm just playing the position as best as I can. And it comes with, the glory that it comes with, the perception that it comes with.
Sure.
But I'm a team player, because without you, without Swank under there, without all these people, I really have nothing to work with or for. I'm dependent on the community to be who I am. So each and every person is as important to me as I am to them. And I'm playing my position, and I'm glad that it's been a good contribution, and it's done well for other people. And for me, man, when other people win, I win, not symbolically. I mean, I win, literally.
Win.
So
all Fry does
that's
is
it.
Win.
We play together and we win together.
Let's play together.
That's it.
You translating culture. I think that's the title of the episode, translating culture. You the guy.
I like that.
When they're in the boardroom, they're like, who do we talk to? It's you. It's Fry. How do you put yourself in a position of to transitioning into the mayor? What's the mindset? Not the steps, the mindset. When you're like looking into the mirror, and then the other version of you is like, yo, what's that one thing you think?
I know what's that one thing, man. I'm a fan of the culture. I like, even now, sometimes I get jaded and I get over it. It gets tiring, it's tedious, I get sick of this character, blah, 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 blah. But when I leave and come back, I'm like, shit, this thing is amazing. This thing that we're part of a global conversation in our own way. And to see it happen again and again in different accents and different ways, it's a repetition.
Sure.
But in a different way. That fascinates me. And the reason why I came to Braamfontein was because of school, right? Because I'm from the East Rand. But you need to realize, unlike you guys from Soweto, your nearest town in a way is the city.
Yeah.
We have to, say that Pinoni, Albertini, Boxback, then
You guys as good as Northwest.
Nah, come on.
Like Joburg is a dream.
You don't have to take it that far. You don't have to take it that far. But it's a bit far. It's like one step further.
Local.
Tina uyejozi, like it's a bit more. It takes us a jozi versus to the next town. Yeah, it is until you leave high school. Then you have a choice to come here for whatever reason. Mine was school, and I remember when I was I think matric or grade 11, I was go open day.
Sure.
And if you open day, Baba, yo, the girls are fine. You know what I mean? Then I used to be into dancing. Then there's all these crews, these guys. Nah, like pop lock, not crump, pop lock. But same thing,
that's
right?
That's so unhood like you.
No, I'm a fan of the culture. I participate. I've played soccer, I've danced.
Nah, dog, you're a cheese boy. Carry on, though.
I'm not you see?
Pop log. Nah.
No, it's curiosity. Because Ispansula is immediate. Ispansula mfethu mengivaya ama-class Ispansula ngina 10. Kusekasi.
I feel
kushawa emaklasini igele, amavaya foslo, amavaya,
I interrupted you. Yeah.
So it's like, it is what it is. You're still a fan of the culture at age 10, right?
Yeah.
So you come here and you open up to this world where there's kids from the north, kids from the south, east. I'm from the east, there's west. Then it's a culmination of all these things like you've been just dreaming about, because you see them in the movies. But now they're happening because all these crazy kids with amazing ideas are in the same place. And from that point, I understood what WITS as an institution was about. And I swear, matric dog mengiphethe kunje bayibizana khona lama writing lama pamphlet basinika one. Then they show the great hall. Literally, I'm studying my matric finals, and that thing is, here's my motivation with nyada, not for school. Don't get it twisted.
For the culture around the school.
It's for that.
I always say this. I was like, the most important thing about school is never what the course is.
It's not the curriculum.
It's the environment it exposes you to, the people you get exposed to, the opportunities. But then when you get exposed to that environment, when you're studying, Well, what's that thing?
That thing, dog, I get there, and I remember high school, I used to have a job at Sports Scene.
Sure.
So I used to buy sneakers. I don't know what this thing is called. I know that the sneaker culture, or my sneaker heads. Nganyura amatiga training into any fresh. Ngoko amatigi kasi mangifika ngama MX. I remember like I used to rock MX and S structures. Amazing la khizami. Yo amatiga nama Vans.
Oh, taking old star.
Young tall. No,
No, I'm saying that's what
Standard.
everyone is saying. It's like,
Yeah.
why would you not buy an All Star, especially a Chuck 70?
And dog, I was done that like grade 8, 9. I used to sell like these badges and sweets in school. All time me go 120, 130 in fit. All time me go I'll buy. Then I started buying Vans. Then I started buying Nike SBs. You know. So I'm upping my standards, but these niggas don't understand. And I bought myself a phone. So
Buying
now
shoes that are worth late buying, essentially.
pretty much. But I used to buy them strategically because I was in retail. I worked in retail from grade 11, right? So I used to know when was sales.
Yeah.
So what you say, man, spa na impincha mi spani puga lose. Ngibekele lama SBs, ama 2.0, amanya red and black.
Sure.
I buy those. I get to BRAAM the following year, and I meet a lot of people like me, and they start telling me what these are called, what this culture is called. I meet Kabel, Fred Packer. I meet him there, and it was literally dope shoes. Where you get those? Where you
You're
get
talking
those?
hip-hop.
Right? Then we have mutual friends. So Splash is like skater, also cool. He's got his own brand, a t-shirt brand, and a blog on Blogspot. So I'm like, yo, it's insane. So, it's like all the dope homies are there. Then they tell me about Gallery on 4th, MK Fresh, Sanel. I don't know these guys.
Yeah.
I just hear about them. And this is how I've discovered I've always been in the culture. I just didn't know the terms, the people and whatnot. So coming to Joburg, kahle kahle, and iJoburg itisoras live yayibona. Uyababona labantu labase TV ubabona you know? So always a fan. I'm a fan of the people I'm still friends with. I was friends of them when I was at school. The opportunities, figure brand ambassador programs, I'm in because I'm trying to be in this culture that I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
You know? That's like my early entry into it, starting blogs and whatnot. I can go on for days, man. But yeah, I'll let you take over.
Hey, man. There's this thing that happens, like, that's a human thing, right? You find yourself, you have this great idea. But there's something greater than the idea. It's the fear around it. What's that thing for you that gets you through it? Because you hosting festivals. I'm not talking a party, a house party, something by the store. You're hosting a festival. You are playing with big money. These are brands you've partnered with. This is your own capital you've partnered with. These are your friends' livelihoods you're also putting at risk. What's that thing that gets you through that threshold?
I'll be honest, dog. It wasn't that deep. I was more excited about the idea than that. What you just talked about came after.
Yeah.
When now money is lost, is dead, hard decisions have to be made. So that only came after. The first part was excitement because there's a blueprint to this thing.
Sure.
The thing that we've done here in BRAAM and elsewhere, there's a blueprint. So because I'm a geek and I'm a fan of the culture, I've watched documentaries, and as we say, we study the game. Definitely done that because I'm a researcher before anything. That's why I went to school. I was in the humanities faculty.
Yeah.
Did honors, did politics till honors level. You read and write. That's all you do from first year to last, to whenever you decide to finish. You literally read, translate, and write. So I'm a researcher by profession. So I research these models and how things go. There's a pattern. There's a pattern of how these, from the US, because it's well documented that side, to here as well. So you actually understand that, okay, it starts as a movement. With us, we had the privilege of online starting to boom at that phase around 2010 going up. So 2010 brought bloggers pretty much, Blogspot, then other blogging spots. Blogging platforms came about. From that, we converted into an online store. So I designed my online store, which was a blog in actual fact. A year later, it was a proper e-commerce store. Then a pop-up store. From a pop-up store working for a month and making a lot of money, let's get a lease. Then you get a lease, and it's just clothes at a couple of brands. Maybe you have 5, 6 brands. More brands want in. Then musicians start hanging around your store. Then they want to do a listening session. Same week, artist wants to do an exhibition. You know, the other day, somebody who does sports comes with the idea, "Mas ngashay tournament, da 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 da."
The Sobering wants to do an episode.
You feel me? So it's like, oh, these elements. So it's fashion, it's music, it's visual culture, it's social sports. Those are like the 4 dominant youth culture elements throughout the world.
It's the wings
throughout time.
The youth.
They're primary elements, you know. They precede us. Even in the Bible, you'll find those elements. So the festival becomes a requirement because the store is small. The courtyard is small. There's so many restrictions. Up here, there's residential. You can't make too much noise. So it's like, okay, cool. There has to be a festival. You understood it. And the closest reference, I guess, for us was like Odd Future. And they had their own festival. You know, Camp Flogner. So it was like here. It was here. These things are like, you're more excited about them more than anything. Sure. Listen to so that's how it happens. But only when you get into it, after the excitement, you realize that, oh, this is a very expensive exercise. You know? Then you get into debt. When you get into debt, you make hard decisions. I don't know if you want me to go into it.
I want to know the hard decisions. The whole point of the part is to allow the next person to avoid.
Okay, cool. Let me explain it. Events are an exciting space, man. You know, it's a showcase space. You literally work 6 months or more for this one day. And the actual planning happens 2 weeks before because you can plan everything. It's proper plan. 2 weeks into it, you have to go to JOC. So if you don't know what JOC is, it's pretty much a body by the city of Johannesburg. Yeah. It exists everywhere in the world, right? Where you have to get approval from them before you actually host the event for a number of people, because those are the custodians of the people of Johannesburg. They have to approve everything. So you have to have certain things in place: security, primary staff, just the site plan where people are going to exit in case of an emergency. All of those things, the layout, then they approve. Very expensive because then you realize, oh, you have to have public liability insurance for 3 million. Sounds a lot, right? But 3 million is probably, you pay, I don't know, 30,000. It's a lot for people who wouldn't anticipate.
You just pay a lease. Yeah. All you know is the store, and then sometimes the homies pull through.
All you know is that you're going to pay for stage.
Yeah.
That's what you kind of anticipate, page and sound, and that's going to be sponsored because brand X promised. So there's that. Then there's security, there's toilets, blah blah blah. Before you know it, you're sitting at plus minus 80K. You didn't know. You ain't
That's back then also.
Yeah, it's a couple of years ago, about 5 years ago. You know.
Yeah, I'm saying for the next person listening. Yeah, there's still gonna be inflation for now post COVID.
You know, there's so many costs, especially if you want to do it proper, like we did. Yeah. You know, so yeah, man, there's those costs that came into play, and what we found ourselves is getting into debt before it starts, and gate money and ticket money doesn't really cover much of that, to be honest. It can cover primary cost, your staff, blah, 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 blah. But that's why events have to be a slow build up. So when you get to that point of a festival, you have already enough support.
Why they have the pre-sold tickets, the sponsor engagement,
to be honest,
micro events prior.
The tickets don't make money, dog. Forget about that.
Mlach.
Yeah, maybe it'll cover 10% of your cost if you want to do it proper, you know? But what covers cost is really you building an entity that has enough value to attract support, be it public support or private institutions like the general sponsors or the city or some, you know?
Yeah.
That's what you need. Once you've secured that, you're comfortable. So it takes time. That's why you need to, I'd advise, do it at a small scale, build up your brand, your name and experience in your team. We did all of that, but we were a bit too quick because our community was like, "Yeah, basifuna lento manje." Yabo.
Sitting a rap, I just want to be on stage.
You know, so I mean, we did our first one. We got support from certain brands. BRAAM offered us a neighborhood goods market now known as Playground, and we actually created a playground at that space. So we got support for the first one, 2017. Then 2018, we took it to Cornhill. I think we were like in debt for like 130K. You know, so luckily because of
That's
that
pre-event or post?
post-event, you know, you only realize mid-event that you're in shit. Always, all the time, I used to have this moment, mid-event, number 6, where everybody is like hyped up.
Yeah.
Then it's my moment to just chill and look around. And I'm like, I say, shy into it. Then you look around and you're like, numbers. It's not as much as we thought. Then you look at the drinks, the bars, and you're like, last masimbini la. Yabo? But say shy into it.
Someone said, I never host the event. Someone said, I gotta say this in English. Someone said you can't host an event for the culture and expect to sell Henny. So technically, you should never factor in for luxurious spend for culture events. And then, how are you justifying it to your partners that, yo, we worth the investment?
No, we're not even justifying it. We're all caught up in this idea and dream. We just want to fulfill what's inside. This thing has been inside us.
But yeah, you still have to pitch to your partners who are then going to fund for the stage.
We didn't have that, dog. As we were young kids, this thing was independently done. You know, the poster said, the only festival independently run by more than 100 kids or something to the effect of like, what artists? Literally. We were not paying anybody for that festival. People were working at the gate stage for free. LPO festival was not a fry pan thing. Everybody let's play outside. Everybody put in work. Nobody got paid. People got paid by the satisfaction of we did it. When people said we did it, they did it. That thing was everyone's thing, dog. Literally, we had minimal. We had every reason not to do that thing. Let me tell you that. Every reason not to do that festival, but we did it. And that's why everyone who was part of it knew that it's theirs. To this day, they know. And the thing is, like, it's one thing to make profit. That feels good. Don't get it twisted. And it says something about your skills level and set.
Planning, etc., etc.
It's good. You should progress to that. But there's something about doing things as a community, achieving it, and at the end saying, we did it. That kind of conviction, my nigga, you can go to corporate the next day, but you'll always have that thing in you to say, I know what I'm capable of. Me and my black friends, we do the dopest shit ever. And that's what it gave all of us. Following day, you have to face the debt, but that's faced by the guys that are registered on paper and the immediate guys that are around me, pretty much, you know? And that's why we're in the top 5, you know, till today. So we had to face that. And through working together, we're able to, the energy we created, like a brand energy, got us a couple of clients. We were able to service people like Afropunk for like 8 months. And the profits we had made there, we're still paying people who are part of. So this is an opportunity now. Those are people that work for free. Yeah. Now we're like, okay,
graduate.
Yeah, we got a client now. So we're going to do this flyer run thing and we're all going to get paid. Sharp, nice. So these are fruits of all of our labor. Cool. Then the profits, now pay off debt. Now my like brand value kind in the street has gone up because of that.
Your festival hosting, nigga.
Exactly, because I'm getting like hosting panel, what do I see? So I'm getting paid. But guess what? 80% of that money goes to paying debt, you know? So I'm going through shit in my life at that time. And so
now you still have to live as a person. Plus the store still has to run.
Nah, you don't live. You just pay off your debt. That's what you do. Just pay off your debt. Don't live. So you just do the minimal. Like literally, it's like my fridge was up empty for a good 8 months. Like living like.
And that's the 8 months where you peak working.
Yeah, you look good everywhere, but you have to work and pay off debt. And I tell you that I think of that debt we paid like 60 to 70%. The other one was like going through line items again and be like, "Aye, Baba." I would say, I'm a cup, 3,000. I'm a cup with wallet. Okay, let's grab that. So now you become more attentive as a business person. Then you pay, then there's company you owe 30K and you're like, guys, I can only pay you 2K. They're like, 2K a month? You're like, that's all. And they're like, nah, dog, you're playing. But also you pay on time every time that 2K because you're not lying.
Yeah.
You're not lying.
That is what you're able to do.
That's what, and you do it. Then by the time we get to halfway, dude calls me and says, My dude, I've seen you've been paying on time as promised. There's a guy on Instagram that owes me about 100K. I just saw him with a jet ski on his Instagram. That pissed me off, but it also told me that I'm dealing with somebody who has more dignity over here. So I'm going to scrap the rest.
Yeah.
Things like that happen.
He charged it to the game.
Yeah. So those are lessons of business. So the the good and bad times are lessons. So you need to have integrity at all times. At all times. So that was a big lesson, and it helped us graduate to the next phase. And within that, we had to close down the store. That's one of the main reasons why the RHTC store in BRAAM had to close down, because of that debt.
My next question, it's a very simple one.
Yeah.
A lot of people get this one wrong. When do you know when it's time to rebuild? Like, we must go back to the drawing board. What the fuck? We thought we knew everything we thought was working. When do you know that, yo, it's time to rebuild?
You never know. At least with me, you never know, man. You're forced into it because you might be at your peak, which we've been a couple of seasons, and that is the time where it has to go down. It's weird, right? It's like you're at your social peak, not at your actual peak.
Yeah.
You're at your social peak. You look around everything and everyone is telling you, you are at your peak. Get ready for the next level. Suddenly something goes, something unfortunate happens. Be it in your personal life or with the business, or you see things that some people don't see. Because when this thing starts, it starts with the vision that's put inside of you. You know how it feels when it goes right, and you know it feels when it's wrong, or it's not going proper. And I felt that when it looked like we had our peak, and that's where we had to stop. And I grappled with the idea of closing the store. And I made the decision with myself. And when I came to the team and said, I think what's best is to close down the store, everyone agreed. No questions. Weird, right?
Yeah.
At our peak.
It's like you all felt it, but no one was brave enough to say it immediately with Buffett.
They were waiting for the guy that started it to say it. Because it was important for the guy to started it. Who started it. Not to end it, but to give it that interlude. And everyone was relieved. Because I think everyone understands that if this thing is put inside of you, it's the hardest for you to change its form, you know?
Yeah.
And everyone felt the same, but everyone knew. So that was when we knew. And then we had to explain it to like the people immediate to us, our community, what's going to happen, right? And what we hope was going to happen the next time. But these things, man, they just happen to us. And what they taught me is that the brother must always move on. Excuse the pun, but the brother must always move on and get ready to move on.
Put on zone.
Yeah, but because it's far more important for you to move to where you're supposed to move. It's you're not the architecture of the story. Something is. And your vision and what you know is from what you've seen and heard. But when you have your own story, it's special in your own way. And it's 10 times better than the shit you're thinking about, you know? So when the brother is always ready to move on, it's always hard. But when that call comes in, firstly, you make peace with it, with yourself. Then you say, I'm open. Take me to where? Give me signs. I'm open. One thing is guaranteed. It's always better. Everything I am today is because of being open. Otherwise, I would have been a blogger for all my life. And I thought at a certain point that this is it. You know, then the store, then this is it. Then the what, this is it. So I'm like, I'm going to live a lot of seasons. What I'm doing now, I'm definitely not doing in 5 years' time. For sure.
Yo. Because I'm like, I see it, I feel it, I'm with it. Let me be funny for a moment because you got a bit too.
Yeah, we went in.
I was too young to be on the mayor's office, so I brought the mayor to my office.
Aye. That's how you do it, baby.
You know?
That's how you do it.
when I was listening to the mayor's office, when you were still Iono Boys. When you
Yeah,
were still on-
2018.
yeah. I'm back home. I'm in Port Elizabeth. Just some family stuff had happened, you know.
Yeah.
I'm listening. I'm like, I have a radio show at that stage. Funny enough, I'm listening.
In
I'm like,
PE?
yeah.
And that's what's it called?
It was called Detention.
Detention.
Yeah, because it was after hours. It was. I just got to the varsity. I walked in. I commanded a radio slot. They're like, we are Papa 9 to 12.
Nice.
9 to 12. So with the 9 to 12 setup, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm very calm in it, very relaxed. I see what's happening. I'm listening to you. I'm like, oh shit, this man's doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it at a small scale because it's radio. So I'd like send a DM, yo, from this campus radio. Sent it to like Espacio de yours. Sent it to everyone. I was like, I vibe with you, so I'm sending you a DM. Like,
Nice.
yo, come in. Let's talk. Just for 5 minutes. Everyone was like 5 minutes. Send Hakeem. Hakeem never came.
What's up, Hakeem?
Hakeem, when we drop your episode, I'm like to Hakeem, yo, let's do the call. Hakimule. I was like, Hakeem.
I've had one
I
or
was
two
like,
of those.
Hakeem, it's tough. But overall, what I learned in that journey was that was part of the encyclopedia.
Yeah.
That was not the encyclopedia. So that was a step that led to we here right now.
For sure.
You were listening to the mayor, now the mayor's in your office. And the most important question to ask the mayor is, how do you maintain the source?
How do I maintain the source? You know what?
Because everyone around you always, the same way we breathe off people, people breathe off us. How do you stay you? Because like the situation where you're going independent, you're hosting a festival, goes wrong. It goes right in the dream is achieved.
For sure.
But it goes wrong in the progress your life had. Like your trajectory was then delayed. But in that delay, you know, delay is not denial, my child. So in that delay, it's like you seeing that, yo, there's more here. Because now you presented with bigger opportunities. But how do you maintain the sauce? Because like now you're in corporate. Though. Once you're in corporate, it's like, I can pay rent now with ease. I can pay 1, 2, 3. I can do 1, 2, 3. I can do 1 to 4. Oh, now I've learned how to communicate in this manner because now we're being paid in this manner. It's not impulse.
For sure.
How do you maintain the source?
Hey, man, you know, I mean, Gucci Mane put it in the best way, dog. You know, you always had the source. Always had the source. Even before the podcasting thing, while we were blogging, while we were still in high school, while we were selling sweets in primary school, always had the source, you realize. But you can get, you know,
Can like get lost in the source.
get lost in the source, you know. And every season I get lost in the source. Every season. Sometimes you think, I'm a level-headed, and you fuck, you in the source, you deep in the source. And that's the process, right? That's the process. It's all seasons are new. And you go in as a junior and you learn your way. Sometimes it takes a few weeks, sometimes months, sometimes a year or two, right? Then you get to that.
The confidence.
Yeah, and sometimes you peak early because this thing has been, it's a small thing. It's not a big thing. You peak early and you want to finesse it and be in here and get all these checks. Nah, dog, you got to go down again so that you can climb up a higher hill, you know? So maintaining the source is what we spoke about on the last topic. Just always being able to move and be a student again and be a fan again. You know, and you know, it's like you get jaded, you get into politics, you start becoming a pessimist. You're right.
Politics, man. How do you know which relationships to kill? Because there's some wars you can't take.
Yeah, I mean, the point is not to kill relationships. The point is not to be even in the politics. You know what I mean? Because those things have nothing to do with you, dog. Nothing to do with you, nothing to do with what you love. It has to do with the commercial aspect of what it is that you love. Right? You get caught in it. Sometimes you have to because you got to wrestle your way through when there's injustice. But my thing is like, man, when I feel that I'm being a pessimist in a space and I'm caught in politics, I think that's my cue to move right along because that's not my fight. My fight is just to fulfill my mission. And I know what that is in every single space that I'm in. There's a constant DNA that I have in every space that I'm in. These things, these industries, these culture spaces, these disciplines, they're things. They're things for us to use and not the other way around. When they start using us, that's when you get into the politics. I move on when that shit gets to that point because it turns me into someone I'm not. You know what I mean? So I have to move on. The money will always be there. I'm guaranteed that by my history from primary school. The money has always been there. Not a lot of it,
But it's always been there.
enough of it has always been there. Even today, I start with the bottom line. The bottom line is to serve whatever I'm there to serve or whoever or whatever mission. When I feel like that's fulfilled, I can move on to the next community and the next discipline and do the same thing and use the experience and connects and networks from the lost industries and credibility to transfer that. And that's why it looks like, oh, you always got the source. It's because you stick to the main point. The bottom line is the bottom line. The bottom line is to serve people. Use these things to serve yourself and people around you in your community. When you get into the politics, you move right along into the next thing. It gets better. It gets far more fulfilling, you know? And it's, yeah, man, it's much more fulfilling, to be honest. And to others, it may look like, oh, man, that was a better space. But it's not. These things just look nice. They just look nice, but what matters is what does this thing do for people? What do these things do for people? That's what matters.
I thought we were gonna do a 2-part, not gonna lie to you. But I feel like the jewels, they're the ones. You hit the right spot. We talked about it. But as the mayor himself, Mr. Kona Juta himself, how do you feel? Do you still think we need a landmark like Kona Juta De Beer?
For sure, nigga. It's not even about Kona Juta and De Beer. What the fuck is Juta? What is De Beer anyway? You know what I mean? It's the people. There's something about this energy, though. There's something about when things, beautiful things are done over and over and over again in the same place. No one can own it. No one can say it's fry pan. It's a fucking lie. No one can say it's play BRAAM. No one can say... There's energy here that precedes us. And I'm convinced that even before us, there was some really special things happening in this here precinct. You know what I mean? So we just carrying on the energy that's needed. It's not about you. It's not about me. I'm not just saying this to sound nice. It really isn't. So when people said, you doing that, you did that, I get it. It's how we've learned to understand the world. It's how we digest commercially things. Things have to be understood within a single character. That's why in movies, there's the hero who pretty much encapsulates the whole movie's philosophy, right?
Yeah.
And that's how we do it. But what I believe is that there's something special in Kona Juta and De Beer that you currently are capturing in a beautiful way, and you're going to inspire the next person to do it in a different way, but the same energy has to be captured, and they're going to do it. So not all is lost. Nothing is ever lost. And here, we are on average here for 2.5 to 3 years, all of us. Then we have to move on.
Graduate.
And we give space for the next. And that's what I love about the city. Every city in the world has that in common. I love about the city. I love the youthful energy in the space. And I have no doubt that in 10 years' time, there's going to be somebody who does what it is that I did in a brilliant way that I'm going to go fucking crazy. I'm like, yo, this kid is amazing.
These niggas got it.
You know, maybe it's not even a kid.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a really old person.
Who saw the gap and like,
You never
maybe
know.
it's you coming back.
I don't think so. But, you know, I don't know. But here, dog, I have no, and it has nothing to do with us. It truly has nothing to do with us.
I almost forgot. What's the one thing you'd say to a person moving from instinct to then understanding corporate? Just one thing.
Instinct, what do you mean?
Like, say, yeah, we're doing it because we want to do it. Because I felt like it. This is something I dreamt.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And then also then doing it, but for corporate.
Yeah.
Because now, your idea is great. Can you do it for us?
Yeah.
What's that one thing you can say to the next person?
I mean, I think that's the way, man. That's one of the ways, especially in an urban space, you know? Because what that means is that all of us have that one thing inside of us that we have to go out in the world and discover what it actually means, so we put a name to it. But it's always in you. You've always felt it since you were a kid, right? Then you get names for it.
Yeah.
Then you meet people. Then they explain it. It's how the world works. Then you have to put value in monetary value.
Sure.
That's where corporate comes in, because those are the money people who take ideas and monetize it. So when you're in there, you have to learn the ways. But most importantly, you have to learn what's for you and what's not for you. Because if you force your way into what's not for you, it's going to make it a very distasteful space and experience, which is what a lot of our brothers and sisters are going through right now, right? There's a limitation to everything, even the money that you want at every point. It's all about understanding. Corporate is not brutal or bad in its nature. It's where and how you position yourself in it. There's a space for you, and there's a space that's not for your nature. You gotta respect that. And I think it all starts with you. That intuition, that thing that's in you, let it guide you and show you which parts of this corporate world you belong to. How much? How many seasons? When do you go and come back? Leave it, you know? That's very important. It's one thing to villainize corporate and whatnot. I think that's not a cool thing to do for yourself, because yours is not to judge. Yours is to understand. Once you judge, you become a pessimist. And once you become a pessimist, you become your own enemy. Yeah, and you work towards your demise. But once you understand what's for you and what's not for you, you are able to gauge how far or how wide you go, and you'll be able to exist in a peaceful way with other people. Corporate is people. It's not buildings. People run that shit. People have feelings too. People sometimes who have no choice but to make unfortunate decisions for you and that person. So there needs to be a certain level of understanding. It starts with self, understand the space, then understand the people you're with. If it's not your season, move on. That thing that's in you will always take care of you. In whichever season, it'll always be there for you. It's that companion that's put inside of you. Some call it God, some call it a guardian angel, intuition. But one thing is guaranteed. A motherfucker's there for you all the time.
It's the mayor, baby. But
Yeah.
what's your word to the youth?
Damn, I'm youth myself, dog. But I think it connects to everything we've spoken about. The one thing is, like, we need to not to be hard on ourselves. We need to be truthful to what works for us and be patient with ourselves, man. Be patient, work from a place of love, and you'll be good. You'll be good. You don't have to prove shit to anybody.
It's the mayor, baby.
I just got my first car at age 32, and it's got an L sign at the back. It's a fancy ass car.
Because it's a luxury car. That's why you got the L.
It's living, but I have to be truthful to myself. I am learning how to drive.
Sure.
And I have to be patient with that. And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
That was a young flex, right?
Yeah. Mpumelelo. Siyabonga put Mpumelelo. Appreciate this.
Oh, good, man.
I appreciate this. Yo, if you want a part 2, just say part 2 in the comments.
Oh, just say it. Nigga. I'm here.
Just say part 2. Fry's here for us to be knowledge. Appreciate this. Love this. Smile the whole way.
Thank you.
Frypan.
Thanks for the invitation too, man.
Hey, man.
I'm a fan.
The mayor, baby. Because you know why? Because you know why? Because you know why?
Why?
Yes, it's so fuck. Because you know why?
That's it, man.
Yo,
I'm
shout out
trying
to
to
everyone.
swear less, by the way. So that's why, I kept it cozy.
Don't say less. Swear less. Swear less, swell.
That's dope.